Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for 700 subscribers. I'm seeing you guys comment on all my videos. I posted 2 videos recently and you guys really liked it and I'm so glad. And if you've never seen me before, hi, my name is Juliet. I make videos about travel, lifestyle, and my life in Hawaii. Welcome to my page. I'm so glad you're here. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you like this video and stay tuned for more because I definitely have a lot more up my sleeve. I'm definitely sticking around to YouTube because I'm enjoying YouTube. I'm loving it. I will be posting on Shorts still, but I'm loving filming these videos, these long form videos. So we all know from my whole channel that I live in Hawaii. Some of you guys may know I am Canadian. I moved to Hawaii October 2024, not knowing a single thing about moving to any other country. In the past, I had moved countries, but with my parents. So they covered the whole visa process. This was the first time, the very first time I moved to a different country by myself. I had to research all the visa process, the job applications. I had to do some work. I had no one to turn to. So I'm making this video for those of you guys who, are interested in moving to a different country or moving to a different state. I am a true advocate for moving somewhere in your 20s. I literally think it makes someone grow exponentially, and since living in Hawaii, I feel like I'm a different person and I'm so thankful to be here. I just love living here so much. Future Juliet here. I just wanted to give a disclaimer. This video is not to tell people to move to Hawaii. I am not a local, so I cannot be obviously telling people to move to a place that is not mine. But I did consider moving to Australia during this time period, and I would have made a similar video like this, just a moving to a different country in your 20s video. And I figured this would just be a helpful video in general because I went through this process and I've had so many people asking about the whole process, about moving to any country really and how to navigate it. So that is what this video is about. So hopefully it doesn't come across in the wrong way. Yeah, this video can apply to different countries and different places you want to move to, as long as you have a clear vision and the information you need to know. I think this video is really helpful for anyone. So make sure to stick to the end, okay guys? So first of all, whenever you're moving to any country, you need to figure out the job, the visa process, all of that. Personally, I am a nurse, and what I used to do in Canada was I was actually a travel nurse. So I had travel nurse in many different places in Canada, Newfoundland, Saskatchewan, Alberta. I learned so much while working as a travel nurse in Canada, and I thought it was great. Then I saw a friend who actually moved to Hawaii as a travel nurse for her first travel nursing assignment in the US, and that was something I wasn't sure about. I had no idea oh, you can move to Hawaii without working anywhere else in the US. That was something that was tricky to me. After figuring out that that was a possibility, I kind of went all in. I did all the visa screen process, so the CGFNS, the licensing, all of that. I did that in order to move to Hawaii as a travel nurse from Canada. And if you are actually interested in my entire process, seeing step by step of how I did all the CGSNF, the CES report, all that stuff, I actually wrote a small ebook. I wrote it sometime last year in the summer, and if you guys are interested in reading about that, I'll put that in my link below. But I have met so many other people here doing so many cool jobs. I have met people volunteering at hostels for 3 months or even longer. I've met people volunteering at farms, farm stays, and they are able to live and work in the farm while volunteering. I have also met au pairs. So au pair was actually something that I was trying to look into a little bit, because I was oh my God, you can travel to these countries and stay with a family and all of this stuff, and you don't pay that much. I decided against au pair because I did want to make a little bit more, but au pair is another thing that I know people move to different countries and do, and I knew a couple people in Hawaii that were doing that, and I thought it was pretty cool. And next, we are going to talk about visas. It's a process getting my visa, and for those of you guys who don't know, I am under the TN visa. Canada, US, Mexico, you would have to apply for it and make sure you qualify. And I know people who were here volunteering, they had a different type of visa to work in the US. I don't want to touch too much about visa because it definitely varies country to country, and being from Canada, I feel I was fortunate enough that it wasn't a huge deal because even moving from Canada to Australia, I would do the working holiday visa, which, you know, some countries are not able to do. So I do feel fortunate that I am Canadian and I'm able to move abroad so freely. Yeah, I would recommend looking into what you qualify for. If you can do a working holiday visa in the countries you're trying to visit, I think that would be, you know, a good idea if you know, can't get like a TN visa or like a specific work visa to work in the countries you want to move to. I know a lot of like Australians and Brits and like anywhere in the world, they all move to Canada and they do their working holiday visa and they're able to keep like, you know, renewing it and extending it. And honestly, like I've known someone who's been in Canada for maybe 4 years on a working holiday visa and they're applying to do like permanent residence. So it is a process that I urge you to look into if you are interested in, you know, staying in these countries and working and, you know, like building something. If for myself, I am under the TN visa and most of the nurses I've met here are under a TN visa if they're from Canada. There are a couple who are doing like a visa sponsorship, so they would be trying to, you know, move away from the TN visa. But TN visa aren't just for nurses, you know, like I've met someone as well who does work online and he has a TN visa. So yeah, definitely go research. There's so much information that I could like put out there, but I don't want to give you guys the wrong information. So definitely go do your research. Next, guys, I am going to talk about housing, specifically for Hawaii and like me moving from Canada to the US, because there were so many things I did not know. First thing I didn't know, I needed a US credit score to apply to like some of the apartments and like condos I was looking into. I didn't have a US credit score because obviously I have a Canadian credit score. So some of these places that I was applying to, I would get rejected from because, you know, I don't have a good credit score. Then I started looking into Facebook, and even on Facebook, there were multiple scams. And guys, I actually got scammed. The price was too good to be true. That was the first sign. The other sign was that this person was like, we need you to pay an application fee. And I was like, hey, can I like view this place? And they were like, no, you need to pay an application fee so we know you're serious. And I was like, oh, okay, let me pay. So I paid the application fee, and then they were like, oh, we need you to pay right now like a deposit to even get the place because it's going, you know, like it was like a sense of urgency. So I felt like, oh my God, I need to pay a deposit. And the deposit was $600 and I paid. But luckily they refunded my money because it was like a fraud alert. So that was really, really good. I literally got saved there. I ended up like losing the application fee, which was I think almost $100. But at least I didn't lose $600. That was like my first lesson into housing, is that I could not trust all these Facebook posts. Guys, I know it seems obvious, but as like a 23 or 24, moving into a new country, like I didn't know. My mom was telling me don't pay it, but I was like, like, you know, like shoo. I was basically trying to do things without listening to my parents and like trying to move forward with things because I felt like I was in a hurry, like I had to do things in order to secure them. And guys, no, there are other options, and like I wish I could tell myself now. I did end up finding some Facebook housing groups for Hawaii, and you know, still there are things to be wary about. But my number one tip now that I use for myself as well, if I am not in the place I'm moving to, I request a FaceTime viewing. And I know this can go either way, I know, but if I'm not getting a FaceTime viewing, I'm not interested in the house anymore, because I need to see that house one way or another. At that time, I didn't have any friends on the island, but now that I do, I would also send them to look at the house and if they have time, but definitely a FaceTime viewing. Next up, guys, this one I've actually had some pretty good luck with, and this is the transportation. Obviously, there's public transportation in Hawaii. There's mostly public transportation everywhere around the world. So I think that's like really beneficial for people who don't know how to drive or don't want to like buy a car, rent a car, any of that stuff. Yeah, we have like a bus system here that I think it's pretty good. I've never actually used the bus, but I think it's okay. And Ubers here are great. There's Lyft as well. I think Lyft is the better price though, whenever you compare. I have both apps, so whenever whenever I do compare, Lyft is always the better deal. But most people I know who do move to the island buy an island beater. An island beater is just like a car that's like, run down, but you can use it while living on the island basically. For some reason, I do not want to buy anything and like put my name down to anything. So I've just been doing car rentals and it's been working for me. The first time I was here, I rented a car for 6 months for $3,500 and I thought that was a fair price. Obviously, I could have bought a car, but with my situation, I never know what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna change my mind, if I'm gonna move tomorrow. So I thought that was a good deal. So $3,500 for 6 months. This time around, I'm renting a car for $400 every month, and I did get offered to rent a moped, which by the same person, and he's renting that for $100 every month. So I may actually switch over and like switch to a moped instead of a car, depending on like how I feel. But I think it's like pretty affordable to rent a car here. I know it's tough when you don't actually own it, and if you like scratch it or something happens to it, you have to pay, but I feel like I'm a safe driver, so I'm just gonna keep with my car rentals basically. So when I was living in Canada, I didn't actually have US and Canada like phone plan, so I had to switch my entire phone provider to like a different provider. So I think I was with Chadar, which is like Rogers, and then I switched to Bell. So Bell has a Canada-US plan. Unfortunately, they keep increasing the price because when I started, I was paying, I think, like 38 Canadian dollars for a Canada-US plan, and now they increased it to like 50 something. So it increases like a lot. Another provider that some of my friends use is TELUS. So TELUS also has a Canada-US plan. My friend says she pays 90 Canadian dollars a month for her TELUS plan. And lastly, meeting people. So I feel like the main reason I love living in Hawaii is because the people here are so nice, aloha spirit, and I feel like people like me are just so active and they want to do things around the island. They want to have fun and give back to the community. I love that, and that's why I'm really enjoying my time here. Last year I lived by myself. I didn't have any roommates, and I do feel like it's super beneficial to have a roommate who's lived on the island for a while. You're able to learn more about certain things that you may not have known, and I think that's so important if you are not familiar with things around the island. Another thing I've been doing to make friends here is going to clubs. So I'm part of run clubs, I'm part of hike clubs, and whenever I meet people there, I like trying to like make friendships out of it and keep it going. So far it's been working out. Lastly, I have used Bumble BFF in the past, and I've made some pretty good friends from Bumble BFF. Sometimes you meet up with one person and you never meet up with them again, and that has happened with me a couple times, but now I think it's good because I've met some people and I've just kind of kept hanging out with them, which is really nice. I don't have the app anymore because sometimes you just get over meeting friends on an app basically, and I think I'm meeting lots of people in person, so sometimes I feel like it's not needed to actually have the app. But if you're new or if you are not quite in Hawaii yet or in the country you want to move to, then it might be nice to check people out from that app. Anywho, I hope this video was helpful. I literally just threw a bunch of information at you guys, and I hope you are able to receive it, and it's like easy to process and you take something away from this video. I know you guys might be moving to other countries, so some of my tips may not transfer, but I think most of them do if you really think about them. I'm so glad you guys stopped by to watch this video. Make sure to check out the link below, the description. I'll have some information down there if you are interested. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good things, and you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you are looking for if you want to see more of me basically. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you would like to see in the future. Bye.